Hello everyone. We're gonna create an Android application for a student registration. Uh, the app is gonna look like this. Okay, the title there, to text view, to edit text here, so user can input those information. The requirements are right here on the right side here, and the requirement I'm gonna put as a hint, and then the user click register, and then we're gonna see if the inputs are found on this CSV file, okay? CSV file that contains a bunch of usernames and passwords. So that's gonna be I already started creating the application. So here's the application. Here on the tree, you can see here all the objects. I already gave the ideas for the object. Username ET, password ET, register BTN. I already have inside of my drawable here the image, logo, and the logo PNG. So here's the layout. The layout, that's the way I want, because it just duplicates that page that I show you here, this guy here, right? So this is the page that I want, or the screen that I want to replicate. It's done here. Before we jump into the Java, the program, we need to do one thing here, because we need to add assets folder here. So I right click on the app, take the new option here, go to the right side here, all the way down here, there's a folder here. Take the very first one, assets folder, click there, take as it is, right? So I'm gonna put on that assets folder my external file, the CSV file. So I'm gonna put here inside of the assets folder. This guy here, username pwd, I'm gonna copy that guy, copy this file, and I'm gonna take here to the assets, and I'm gonna paste that. I say okay here. And it shows there, right? A pair of values, username and password are separated by comma, so it's a CSV file, is inside of assets folder here, right? And that's a very common data storage. You have an application, and then whoever developed the application sometimes broadcasts an update file to your app. So initially, as you download the app and put it in your device, you get this guy here, the data storage file. And then as they use there, and there's some modification or more usernames and more password, so we get a broadcast file to your app, right? Usually they do like off-peak hours, even when you are offline, you pass by a tower there, and they send the CSV to your app. Okay, and also the next step for us is going to be to develop that using database. We're going to use that SQLite that comes with the Android Studio, SQLite. Okay, okay, done that, said that. Let's go to that main activity here, Java, and let's program this guy. I like to have in that way. So we're going to program this. So we're going to do first, we're going to declare those objects that we are concerned with. So declare objects. We have two edit text and a button. Okay, two edit text. So I'm going to do edit. Big T here, it should pop up. Yeah, it does. Edit text, we have the first one is username ET. That's the idea. To differentiate from the ID, I'm going to add that OBJ for object, ET. And we have the password. So password OBJ ET. We have the button. So BUTT, that's the one, button. we call the bot register btn as the ID, right? So for the object, I'm gonna name it register obj btn. Okay, object agent. Okay, that's done. So here we're gonna come here into the onCreate. So as you click on the app, that's what happens. The onCreate. Okay, good enough. So we declared objects. Let's define the object. Define object. So we're gonna take each object, their username objet. We're gonna cast as edit text, and we're gonna link that to the ID there. Find view by ID. Our resources ID dot we call, right, username et. Good. We're gonna define now the password object there. The same thing is an edit text. We're gonna link it there with the find view by ID, r.id dot password et. And the last one is the bottom, right? So register obj btn. We cast as a bottom. We link that find view by ID with r.id dot register btn. Good. All right, so far so good, right? Now the user typing in those things there, right? We're going to put a listener to the bottom, right? Like the person put the inputs, tap on the button there, so we're going to put a listener. So setting up a listener to the bottom. So we take the object register obj set on click listener. You know the way it goes. You type the word new, the capital letter O, and then the very first one that pops up there, you just press enter. Now the ID, we're gonna, let me minimize this guy here. Right? We'll code for us some other stuff here. Some other, right? So we take this. So we're gonna read the input, right? So the first thing we're gonna hear, you're gonna say here, reading input. So the first one is both are strings. Strings. I'm gonna classify them as a string. So a string, we're gonna call string input username. So how to read? Take the object username obj.get big T for text and dot to string. That's it. We read that. Let's read the password. So the password, I'm going to just put here input pwd for password. Let's shorten this. What is the object? Password objet dot get big T text dot to string. We read those two guys, right? Now, when you have the user the freedom to type whatever, you can do some really crazy things as far as like a keyboard keys can do just to fold the application, can do a control combination of letters. So it's hard to, with the code, to get or filter out all those choices. So the best thing is to use the Java pair to throw those things an exception, which it is try, okay, and what comes next is catch, try and catch. We're going to call that a generic exception E, and the exception E. So what I'm going to do here, just put it here, let's toast that, toast dot make text, where right here, main activity dot this. What I'm going to say, please enter Please enter valid inputs. Valid inputs. We're gonna toast for how long? Take the longest one. It's about a minute long. Toast dot length toast dot length long, right? I put the parentheses there. That's why that shouldn't be there. Toast length long. So and then dot show. All right, I got that right. Okay, good. Try and catch. All right. One more thing that I didn't mention. If you go back to the layout, we can also add a little more insurance for the type of inputs we can accept. So let's highlight the username here. And first of all, let's go here to our attributes. Let's go to hint here. Hint. And put here hint 8 char letters or number, letters slash or numbers. 8. That's the hint. Now how about the password? The password hint, hint is right here. So we're going to say here, password is 6 char the password is oh, I'm sorry, let's get this guy here. The password is lowercase only, right? Lowercase only. So let's go here and make that. This guy is 6 char lowercase, 6 char lowercase, right? Letters or numbers. And or numbers, it is an and or numbers. Okay. So, right. HR letters or numbers, and here is 6 char lowercase letters. We can, let me see letters. Well, let's put the backslash n here. Let me see if that would, right, okay. Well, the hint is kind of long, so I'm gonna have that into lines. Okay, good. So we did the hints. Also, here the username. Yeah, no, that would be good. One thing here for the password, we can also do here digits, right? Go to the digits here, digits, and type here is only lowercase. So I'm gonna type A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, T, U, V, W, né? V, W, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z, lowercase, and the digits 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. For the username, you don't need to put any digit there or any digit because you're going to take anything there. Not really. Let's go back there. So this is here because I don't want special characters and things. Remember, the keyboard is everything on the keyboard is optional. Is a possibility. So here for the username, I'm going to do the same thing. But then here is a combination of a lowercase and uppercase. So I'm going to repeat the same thing. So let me go here to the password, and I'm going to copy this entire thing here. Control copy. Go back to the username and go to the digit there, and I'm going to Control V here. And put at the end here the capital letters. Turn my caps on here. So A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. All right. So we have lowercase, uppercase, and the digit there. Right? So we avoid that special character, dashes, and everything. All right, good, good. Let's go back to the program. So here the try and catch. So the first thing here we're gonna do is ensuring that the username and password are not blank, right? And another thing there's another thing we can do here. Let's go back to the layout. The username is 8 chars, right? There's here also an attribute called max length. Let's go back there. Max length here for the username is 8. But that's the max. So this only ensuring that it doesn't go past 8. But can it be less than 8? Yes. And there's no attribute here that ensures that there's a minimum length. There's no such thing. Right? We can ensure that's a max, so it won't pass 8. We're going to do the same thing for the password. The max length is going to be 6, right? So we can do that on a layout here on attribute, which helps, right? Because you don't need to code that condition. Now go back there, but how about if it's less than? So let's make sure that's not blank, and if it satisfies those requirements, right? So here we're going to do ensuring input satisfy requirements. What if the string input username dot is empty? So you negate is empty, it becomes is not empty, right? If the input username is not empty, and 2%, the input username, Control Z here, username dot length is equal, 2 equal signs to 6, where username is 8. Right? Username is 8. Okay. So it's not empty, and the length is 8. So curly bracket here, and I'm going to put the else right away, right here. So what type of the else here? Well, they put the username is not valid, so I'm going to just say that right here. I'm going to copy this toast here, I'm going to put right there. Control V, and I'm going to say here, please enter valid input username, right? Valid username, just one word, username. Let me get rid of the rest. All right, so we go inside of the if here. Okay, good. So if you put username, right? So username is good. Is equal to 8, the size, the length, and the number of characters, and it's not empty. Good. Now we do the same thing for the password. So if not input password dot is empty, right? And input password dot length is equal to 2 equal signs to 6. We'll go inside. How about if it's not, else? Now you know, we send a toast saying that password is not good. Control copy, put it here, Control V, and please enter valid password. Password. Okay. Good enough, right? So we have this. Now what we're going to do, we're going to read so we have both inputs valid. Now we're going to read the external file. Inside of the, right, here's both conditions were satisfied, so we are here. Reading the CSV file. Because our aim here is we read the file and see if inside the file you have a match for username and password. And we assume that they are unique, okay? Read the CSV file, right? Okay. So first thing we're gonna say is we're gonna define the file. So we're gonna put here string file. That's the name of the file. Is that inside of the assets? So we're gonna be username underscore pwd dot csv. Okay, the file is defined, right? Now that we're gonna use it, we're gonna create two objects. We're gonna create an input stream reader and a buffer reader. What they do? They take the file, right, and make that a big stream, meaning one long string, and in between the string there, you have character returns. Good. Now that's the input stream reader. Make that one. That's the way. That's what it results. When you create the buffer reader, it reads up to the character return. So in chunks. So in other words, it is reading line by line, right? So I'm going to create a variable here, or create a string variable that holds one line of the CSV file. So I'm going to call this string record line, because really the string there I'm going to initialize as blank, because really each part of the string before the character return is really one line of is one record. Okay, record line, good. So let's create those objects. So I'm going to put here create input stream reader object. Go back to the way Java create object. Most of it is there's a class and then you create an object. So the class is really input stream reader. That's a class. Dot. We create the class. No, not that. I'm sorry. Space. That's a class. The object. We can call that just the initial ISR input stream reader equal to new input stream reader in parentheses. Instead of put all the path and everything up to the file, I'm going to just put here get big A here, 2S, get assets, dot open that string there called file. Okay, right? Remember, this is good because this is inside of the try. If the file is not there, we read the inputs and everything, and then we just write as soon as this line is compiled. If the file is not there, we are out of the program because it becomes an exception. Right? So it's good that we do this inside of the try, because for some reason we try to read the file, but the file is corrupted or the file is not there. Okay. So the first object. The second object is create and buffered reader object. Again, Java tells us how to create an object from a class. You put the class here, buffered reader, BUFF. Buffer, not input reader, just buffer reader. Buffer reader. Let's call that reader. And then how to do it? Same thing. New buffer reader. And then what is it? Put inside the input stream reader. Good. So now we're gonna loop, right? Loop through the entire stream, file, let's say file stream, loop through reading line by line. We loop. So we type here while in parentheses. Now there's a condition here. So I'm going to create, I'm going to take the record line equals to the reader dot read line, pass this here, we put different from. Now, what is now? That's the evaluation of a reader, when they read the lines, and the line is the last one, is the end of the file, and becomes null. And then you are out of the loop, okay? So that's why you read up to the last character return, and that's it. Okay, good. So we read that. Now what do you do? So you read the first one. Now let me show again here that CSV file. Look at this. Now the very first line is just a header line. It tells username, comma, password. You can say, well, why don't you get rid of the line? It's not advisable. Why? You take this file, you pass to someone else, and say, work with that file. The person look at this and say, what is this about? What is the first thing there, comma, the second one? So it's good. Imagine if you have not only username and password, but username, password, ID, address, date of birth, and so on. You get rid of the header line. And people wonder, what is those values separated by comma? I don't know what it's about. It cannot associate. So leave that there. All that I have to do here in the program is skip the line, right? So we're going to skip a line. So let's before we loop, let's create a variable here. Create a string, an integer variable, whatever, an integer variable for reading. First reading, second reading, as many reading as the records, as the number of records. So we're going to say here string. I said integer, né? So integer int reading equal to 1. Okay. So we need to skip, before we do the loop, we say here, need to skip the first line. And I put here in parentheses, header line, okay? We're going to skip there. How to skip? Very simple. No? You start the loop, you say here, if, right? If, in parentheses, reading is greater than 1, we do our stuff. No? We're going to read the line, process the line. And if it else, the reading is equal 1. So else, just add 1 to reading. So if you, at the end, you say, how many recs I read? Just in case if you need it. Say reading plus plus. All right, just, it's optional. Right? Or make reading equal 2, and that's it. You skip the first one. You read the line, reading is greater than 1, no is 1. So you add 1 to reading, and you keep it, go to back again to the loop, and you keep it reading. All right. So now we read the second line, right? So what do we do? We take the line. The line is this guy here. Look at that. We read in the second record here, right? And it's 2 values separated by comma. So there's Java. There's a method there that you can take the string and split. It's split in comma. So when you split, that string becomes an array of 2 elements. Okay. So the result of splitting. Let's split the line by comma, because they are separated by comma. So it becomes an array. So we're going to create this string array. String record. Let's call this record array. Right? Record array is what you do. You take the record line, the line that we read, record line dot split in double quotes here or single quote, it doesn't matter, a comma. That's the separator, right? The value separator. All right, we separate. Now I have the array. So the first element of the array I know is username. The second element of the array is the password. Checking if there is a match. Okay. Another thing we need to do, right? I'm going to create a Boolean variable for a match. And I'm going to put here Boolean. Let's call this found match. And let's start with false. So we come in here, check if there's a match. We're going to, a condition, it's going to be a little long condition because I'm going to try to match both things, right? So I'm going to say here, if we can use a method in Java called matches. This is nice. Yeah? If, so we come here, we're going to put if. What do we call the inputs? We call the input username and input password. All right. So we're going to put here input username dot matches. Match what? The record array of which element? 0. The first element. All right. If that's its input, it match that. And space. Let me go down here so we don't need to. Input password dot match record array of element 1. All right. Let's put it here. So if you match, the condition is good, right? And okay, so we go. If it matches, so we're going to turn that variable we call found match, we turn that into true, and we break, get out of the loop, right? Get out of the loop. You read the first line, that's exactly what the inputs are, right? All right, get out, don't need to read the whole file. Assume that is unique, the username and password. Okay, so here is the end of the loop. So here we read everything, right? So I'm put the comment here, end of loop. So let's do here, if found match is equal to true. So what do we do? We can display in the text, send this to a second line. Just to make that a simple one, I'm going to just toast that, okay? I'm going to toast that make text right here in the main active.this. And here, I'm sorry, let me bring this up here. I'm going to say here, congrats. Let me make this, this comma, let's go to the second line here because it's too close to the edge here. I'm going to say here, congratulations. Oh, congratulations. You've been registered. And we come here, let's toast this for how long? Oh, big T. Toast that length long. Oh, toast that length long. And that show. All right, good. What else? Else means after the loop, you found match still false, right? So we toast it again. Control copy. We just change the message there. Instead of congratulations, just say sorry, credentials not in record. Sorry, credential, username and password, credentials not in file. All right, and that's the end of it. So let's run this. Here's the application. So first thing, let's try, see if you just, without any input, if you click on the register, you get that toast. Yeah, you got the toast there, that not valid username. So let's put here for the username. Let's put anything here. It's limited to 8 characters. You try to type and nothing else goes in there, it shows up there. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm not gonna enter any input for the password, just to make sure the program catches that error there. So I'm gonna click on register here, and I should get that toast saying, please enter valid password. Okay, valid password. Is it 6 characters long? I'm gonna enter anything just to. It's only 6, it doesn't allow me to enter more. I'm gonna click register here. I should get the toast. Sorry, credentials there. Let me click one more time so you can see. Sorry, credential not in file. So now let's try a real numbers here, a real pair of values here. Let me start with username. And the password. And it, try to register. Should get a toast. Congratulations, we have been. Toast went too quick, I'll do it again. Have been registered. Okay, thank you.